was like a database. I had everything in my mind of what they could do, what they didn't like to do, where they did it, when they did it. Now, if I could see that up close, that is the greatest form of education that I could possibly receive.
The fastest way to learn anything is to model someone who has done it before you.
So what I've been able to do is take the stuff from Zig Ziglar, take the stuff from Tony Robbins, take the stuff from Les Brown.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something greater inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Kobe Bryant. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
Or to go play someplace else to try to chase a championship. That's not me, man. That's not what my career has been about. There's certain things that we want to get to, but we have to pace those out because we have to have absolute focus.
Was it a hard decision? Like, I'm going pro, or did you just know? Because A-Rod obviously did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, as a young kid, 17, 18, going to be a pro athlete.
It was a tough decision. Ultimately, the key factor for me wasn't whether or not I was ready. It was the fact that if I wasn't ready, I was determined to figure out how to get ready. And ultimately, even if I was ready, I still need to improve anyway. Right? So the work's not going to stop. And it was just a matter of, do you want to come to the league and learn from the best? And I'm doing the math in my head. I'm looking at Stockton, how many years he's playing, Drexler, how many years he's playing, MJ, how many years more he's playing, Hakeem. And these are players that I studied growing up. And the best way to learn from them is to have that jump off of the film, jump off of the page, and see it face to face. That's the best way to learn. Because it was like a database. I had everything in my mind of what they could do, what they didn't like to do, where they did it, when they did it. Now, if I could see that up close, that is the greatest form of education that I could possibly receive. So that's when I was like, no, I'm going to go pro.
The fastest way to learn anything is to model someone who has done it before you. You don't need to have all the answers yourself. You don't need to have decades of experience to win. If you want to shortcut your path and stop wasting time, you need to learn to model success. So I recently came back from speaking in Phoenix. I was at an event with Brendan Burchard and Dee Graziosi and Eric Thomas and a bunch of amazing speakers. And I have a lot of experience in speaking. I've been listed by Forbes and Inc. magazine as one of the greatest speakers in the world, super humbling award, but I still want to get better. I still want to learn. I still want to improve. And so before getting on stage, I was talking to Brendan Burchard backstage and he said, hey, I'm going to watch your speech. I'm going to finish my interview here and I want to make sure that I watch your speech. And so I get on stage and it's tons of fun. I come back out and Brendan is running down the aisle and he's got his hands up and he's super excited. And he said, that was amazing. And he's telling me about how great the speech was and how much I helped his audience and thanking me. And I said, amazing, thank you so much, appreciate you. Let me ask you, how do I make it better? You've done a lot of these, you've done more than I have. You're filling out, huge rooms full of people. How can I get better? I want to model success. I want to learn from somebody who's done more than me. And chances are something great's gonna come back, right? Like, tell me I suck, Brendan. Tell me I suck. How do I improve? And he gave me a bunch of great feedback. He said, one, I need to use the stage more. So I was walking kind of like this. I was walking around like this and at a slow pace because I think as I'm going. But he said, no, you need to walk faster. You need to walk faster like this and always facing the audience. And there's this giant stage that I was speaking at. And he said, you gotta make sure you hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times. If you're speaking for an hour, you gotta hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times because, Evan, what you did really well was you kept the people's focus who are really in front of you in this circle, but the people who are out there, they didn't connect with you as much. Great, awesome feedback. I gotta take that home and improve. He also said to be bigger and more animated. And this also makes sense from my salsa background. When you're doing performance on stage, you need to make everything big. Because the people who are up front can see you, but the people who are at the back, they can't see the expressions, they can't see the movement, so it's gotta be bigger than you would normally do it. And so even though I knew that lesson from a different set of experiences in salsa dancing, I hadn't applied it yet to my speaking. And so it was great. It was great learning experience. And if I didn't ask Brendan, hey, what can you teach me? How could I do better? The worst case scenario is he says, there's nothing, it was perfect. Great. I want to know how I can improve though, right? And he gave me 2 pieces of advice that now I could take into my next speaking gig to make it even better, right? That's the idea of modeling success. You find people who've done it before, who are better than you at least one certain thing, and ask them, how did they do it? And ask them to critique you and break you down, because through that, you will shortcut your path to getting there faster. So how do you do it? How do you find mentors? That's the next step. I'm going to give you a 3-step process to figure that out. Step number 1 is face-to-face mentors. These are people who you can meet face-to-face, the people who you can grab a coffee with. It could be somebody who's local in your city that has had some success. It may not be top of their game, but they're further ahead than you are. The more beginner you are, the more people can teach you how to get to their step, right? You can only teach people to get to the step that you're at, not how to get further ahead. So if you're at step number 1, there's probably a lot of people who are at step number 10, not so many people who are at step 100 or 1,000, right? But talking to those people can get you to step 10 and get you to step 20, get you to step 50, right? As you get higher up, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But finding face-to-face mentors who can teach you, who are in your city, just reaching out and saying, hey, I am X, right? Tell your story. And I've got one question for you. And then go and try to ask that one question. When you're traveling, just like I was, when you happen to be in a room with somebody, get your question answered, right? If you're ever at a speaking gig where you see the speaker there, always try to get them before they go on stage, because after it's going to be chaos. It's going to be crazy. If somebody's doing a meetup, I've been doing meetups every time I travel. There's always 1 or 2 people who come super early, and I get to spend a lot of time with them. And then the people who straggle in or show up late, they have a hard time getting their question answered because now there's a lot more people. So be first, get your question. Don't say I'll wait till after, because it's not going to be another time. You see them, you got one question, you go and you ask it. If you can find the people face-to-face, either local in your city or different events that you're going to, it's a great spot to get your questions answered from a face-to-face mentor. Step number 2 is aspirational mentors. These are people who you may never meet or is impossible to meet because they're not with us anymore, but you can still learn from them. So I look at Steve Jobs, I look at AP Giannini, I look at people who've already passed on who I never met, or even Bill Gates was my first aspirational mentor. I haven't met him yet. Hopefully I can, before he passes. He's still got a lot of time left, hopefully. I've learned a lot. Bill Gates saved my first business even though I've never met him. And so that's the process, is look at people who you aspire to be like, who've done something that you want to learn from, and study them. My channel, all of my channels, what are they about? They're about teaching you how to model success, how to learn from somebody. Even this video on Kobe Bryant, you may never meet Kobe Bryant, but you can learn from him, you can study his success, you can read his book, you can watch his videos, you can look at his interviews, you can watch all the top 10s that we've done, and you can learn from it. The more you start hanging out with the people who've done more than you have, even if you never hang out in person, even if hanging out is just through a screen, I promise you, bit by bit, that injects. If you are watching a Kobe Bryant video every single day, some of his mindset, some of his attitude, some of his work ethic, it's going to inject itself into you. He's going to pull you up to a different spot. And so finding those people and then making it part of your daily habit, your daily routine, will pull you to a different place. Step 2, get aspirational mentors. And step number 3 is a new category that I haven't included before, but online mentors. Here are people who are maybe people you're not going to ever meet face to face, and they're not aspirational that you can never actually ask them a question, but there's so many people now who are doing live online sessions, right? People who are going on Instagram and doing live, going on YouTube and going live. Turn on your notifications and show up and ask your question. And you may not get your question answered in the first few times that you go on. Great. Every single time you go back on it and do it again. If you are following Kobe Bryant on Instagram, turn on your notifications for him. If you love Kobe, follow him on Instagram, turn on notifications, and if he ever goes live, be the first one in there and you might get your question answered. I go live multiple times per week. If I'm in Toronto, if I'm at home, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, I go live. And it's for half an hour, and I bring people in and I answer their questions. And at the start, there's always a couple minutes of just getting started and welcoming people in. And the people who come in and say, like, pick me right away are often the ones who I pick. And then the ones who are still there, like 10, 15 minutes later, they come in late or say, oh, maybe me. You hesitate. By the end of every live stream, there's always a waiting list of people who want to get in. But at the beginning, it's always wide open. So turn your notifications on. The people who you love, who you look up to, who you respect, who you wish you could have 8 minutes of their time to answer one important question for you, follow them on Instagram, follow them on the social platforms, turn on notifications, and when they go live, you get notified, get in there, ask your question, and get the answers you're looking for. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know who are 3 people that you are going to start modeling today. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this video and promise to take action after watching it, we don't just watch videos now, we do something about it to make our lives better. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments, make that commitment to yourself, and then get to work.
So when you look at ET, yeah, I might be one of the top speakers in the world, but when you look at the other guys and you look at me, you see it's something different. You see the hat, you see the shoes. And so what I've been able to do is take the stuff from Zig Ziglar, take the stuff from Tony Robbins, take the stuff from Les Brown when I was younger, and listen, Nightingale. Like, I'm listening to the same people, Napoleon Hill. I'm listening to who everybody else is listening to, but I'm not just listening and going, do exactly what they say. I'm saying, you got to customize it. You got to make it work for you. You got to make it fit in your language. You got to make it fit for your audience. You got to make it fit for you.
Well, success leaves clues. If if the super successful people don't hang, don't chill, don't go to Super Bowls and all those things, and they're hard asses, okay, but only 98% of the high performers in the world are alpha males. 2% are alpha males, 98% are regular people. Because, for example, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett all share one attribute. They're introverts.
This continuum, right?
Correct, yeah. And so, I mean, you don't have to be an alpha male. And back in the day, 100 years ago, and doing research for one of my talks, they had obviously alpha males, but they didn't call them alpha males. They called them oak trees.
Oak trees.
Oak trees, because that was considered the straightest thing in the forest, and it didn't break down. And so they were called oak trees. And but when I tell people about Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all being introverts, because most people are introverts. Most people are pleasers.
If you want to know how Kobe Bryant raises his standards, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
So I don't care if you're here in the office at 6 a.m. and you leave at midnight. If the work that you do is average, then this is not the home for you.